Hi friends, this is DaintyTank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Fatal 12. This is part 5 in our series, and it's getting serious. I am loving this. It's so much fun, there's so much to do, there's so many different interesting stories that we are apparently going to uncover, which is cool. And along the way, see giant freaking woman beating up someone. Oh my god, what was with the abs? How? There were so many. Anyways, besides Odette. Apparently we're going to keep going with this. It's going to be interesting. Where we left off, the first person that we had gotten to know, Ro, had been eliminated by Odette, and Odette was in the process of telling Frederico about how the elimination process itself happens. So that's where we're starting, is her recollecting what happened when their platforms went up into the clouds. So, with that, let's get started. Load. I think it was here. Truth of election. Fascinating. Circular platforms both Odette and Ro were standing on began to rotate as they were raised above the court of fate. Upon reaching a certain height, they stopped descending. The layout of the upper area is similar to the lower stratum, but parts of it felt different somehow. The goddess, displaying her usual wry smile, had made her own ascent before either participant could blink. Didn't she stay down there? I thought she did. That means, time and space mean nothing to that goddess. Do proceed. After ascending, all the cards in Odette's possession sprung out from her book at once. A strange light surrounding them, masking both their numbers and contents for everyone's view except Odette's. So, do I just say what info I have on them out loud? You wretched wench. Do as you please with the cards in your possession. Odette's eyes scanned across the cards in front of her. She currently had 9 cards, including her own. Among them were 3 specific cards she wanted to read aloud. 9, jeez. She pressed her fingers along them before speaking. Ro Chanho. Please don't. I'm begging you. Cause of death, a stroke. You realize I have a family, don't you? How do you plan to account for them after killing me? Cease this nonsense now and I can recompensate you handsomely. Money, stocks, or even land. You name it, and I can provide it. Christ, you're pathetic. Please, I'll give you anything you want. I'll just give you access to my credit details. You'll never have to work another day in your life. His regret was his dog. It's over. It's all over. Sorry, but you can't put a price on my life. And more importantly, when it comes to competitions, I'm always in it to win it. Since Odette finished, 3 of the cards floated away from her. After reaching the middle of the Court of Fate, they came together and formed a triangle shape. Oh? Do we get a cutscene? Nope. Nice knowing you, geezer. Who knows whether or not he could hear her last words to him. He simply hung his head in despair, realizing that his fate had been sealed. One by one, Odette's cards began to emit a white light. May fortune shine on the departed. Said light got brighter and brighter until it eventually blanketed the entire area. And then it happened. A brief moment that Odette's vision was blinded by the light, and enveloping the area, her consciousness was overtaken by an unfamiliar scene. Her senses were linked to the scene as well. What? She witnessed a number of old, chubby men, all wearing expensive suits, sitting in an oddly bright room. Their faces were all twisted into expressions of boredom. The artificial lighting in the room was almost blinding when it reflected off the documents they had brought along. It was apparent that they were holding some sort of meeting. She could tell it was one of great importance, judging by the tone of their voices. However, she was unable to hear the details of the conversation. Some manner of interference prevented her from doing so. And then, the unexpected struck. All of a sudden, her vision went blurry. Next, her face slammed down on the table with a thud. She was unable to muster the strength to move her body whatsoever. She collapsed down onto the floor. The unclear voices were now clearly being directed towards her. Eventually, her consciousness faded as she lost all bodily sensation. A stream of memories followed. All manner of people were talking to her, but it was impossible to make out a single word they were saying. Regardless, the sense of disconnect she felt at that moment made it clear what was going on. These were Ro's memories. Memories of the moment he died, engraving upon his very soul. As he drew his last breath, Ro's thoughts were of his dog that died when he was young. Oh my goodness. Huh. By the time the flashback ended, Ro had disappeared from Odette's sight. The card she used to elect him did the same, and the room returned to its usual gloomy atmosphere. One thing she noticed was the beam of light that shone from above had grown thicker, although she wasn't sure whether or not it was just her imagination. So the electors are forced to experience the death of the elected, huh? You sure are messed up in the head, aren't you? Parsa opted to respond with nothing beyond her wry smile. In her hands were 3 cards. Odette realized that these were the cards that were in Ro's possession. Number 5's name, number 11's name, and number 11's cause of death. Which would you like? Isn't she number 11? The platform on which Odette stood began to move slowly soon after Parsa asked her question. Do take your time to think about it while we descend. Ain't much of a choice, is it? When she had imagined this outcome, the fact that she was so on the money left her visibly annoyed. Following that, both her and Parsa returned to the lower level of the Court of Fate. Jeez. Well. I tried to imagine everything she just explained to me. Basically, you're forced to experience the same death as those you eliminate. Man, that's freaky. That Parsa girl sure is cruel despite appearances. You think? I found the whole thing pretty exciting. In response, I make sure to sigh loudly enough for her to hear it. She keeps babbling on without a care in the world, though. More importantly, we're heading to Japan next. Might as well, considering we'll need to get there at some point. It's an especially good time to go now with that new card you got belonging to the Japanese guy and all. Super old guy at that. Yep. Let's head out after we finish this grub. It finally feels like the second round's over, now that we've decided our next move. Washing down our last flaky bits of croissant with some milk, I stand up and get ready to leave. Wow, you two. Alright. Huff, huff. Oh, Rinka. This morning brings memories of another nightmare with it. The second round of divine selection has taken place. At this point, I've already accepted that I am a participant. The fact that I'm alive right now makes it hard to comprehend the reality of my own death, but it's no longer about whether or not I believe it. Rather, the events they've taken place so far are starting to get to me because they feel so detached from my personal life. Divine selection's grinding along. 2 people have been eliminated without any influence from me whatsoever. Keep telling myself that they have died over 2 weeks ago, but I can't forget the faces I saw in the Court of Fate. That alone is enough to make my heart ache. I don't want to die. Not having access to my own cards is frustrating too. There's one major reason behind my reluctance regarding all this. It's the fact that I don't know what my own regret is. That kind of makes you a little safe, huh? I was wondering about that. I still haven't sorted things out with Maharu, but it's entirely possible that we could both be eliminated while preoccupied with that. As afraid as I am of both the woman from last night and the guy from the first round, not to mention everyone else, I'm not about to go down without a fight. My first and foremost priority. I have 3 cards at the moment. If I'm going to do any digging, it needs to start with people these belong to. I look up that Frederico Carmeniti person after I start finishing my thoughts. As I expected, no useful information. All I learn is that it's a common name in Italy. The other 2 cards provide me with the cause of death for number 4 and a regret for number 9. All I know about them is that they seem to be foreigners. Where am I even meant to start? After a big sigh, I set about my morning routine. There's so many penguins. Side note, look at the bottom shelf of her bookcase there. There's just a line of penguins. Why is there so many penguins? And why did you take up an entire part of your bookshelf with penguins? I mean, it's adorable, but why? There's always the possibility that the other participants don't know anything about me. Doesn't mean I can waste my time, though. That's true, and they will go out of their way to find you. My own name card was among those distributed at the beginning, which means it's only a matter of time until someone puts 2 and 2 together. One thing that has me curious is number 9's cause of death. Much like me, their card says they died in a fire. From what I can recall, number 9 is a boy from abroad. Of course, there's no guarantee that he got caught up in the very same situation as me. Rinka, you all died at the exact same time. What is the cosmic capability of 2 fires happening at the exact same time that killed you both? Like, really? Much like how there's no guarantee that it simply died from the fire itself. And not smoke inhalation? No, I think you got burned. In fact, I still don't recall how one broke out on the train in the first place. There are plenty of possibilities, from a simple attack to an intentional terrorist attack, but there's no way for me to find out when the act has been undone. In other words, all I've got going for me is my memory. And you don't seem to have much of that, my dear. Screw this. No point in forcing myself to try and remember. Especially when there's a non-zero chance of a hint magically appearing to help me out. I make my way downstairs, have some bread, and then head to school. Aww. Okay. Pew. Lunchtime at last. Did you bring your own? Mao and Maharu stroll over to my seat when the bell chimes for lunch. I had planned on going to the cafeteria on my own, but Mao catches me just in time. We probably would have eaten separately if she hadn't, considering my mind is a little preoccupied. So much for trying to go about life as usual. Yeah, I was just about to head over to the cafeteria. Actually, I overslept a bit this morning, so I didn't have time to make my own lunch. Overslept, huh? Obviously, I won't ask if that was thanks to being in the dream world. Sure is rare for you to oversleep. Either way, full speed ahead to the cafeteria. Alright, let's go. University on campus has its own cafeteria, which is open for our use as well, which is great. Forget you're like K through university. Most schoolers aren't allowed to use it, but once you hit high school, it's fair game. Which means there's only females up there, because once you hit high school, it's a women's only. I do remember that. Since it's a little awkward hanging around all the university students, most of us tend to buy our food and then go eat it somewhere else. That goes double for us considering how much we stand out. That being the case, we make our way to the rooftop after getting our food. Now that we've established we never go up here, let's go up here! Ooh, we've got it all to ourselves today. The rooftop is usually crowded with students on days like this, but unfortunately, doesn't seem to be the case today. What do you two get? A ham sandwich. It's simple, but does the job. Not to mention nice and cheap. You sure that's gonna be enough? I can ask you the same. Yakisoba bread and anpan isn't much more filling than what I have. Hey now, I got some milk, coffee milk as well, so in terms of calories, I'm miles ahead of you. She jams a straw into the carton with a triumphant grin. It's a 16-ounce carton too. Probably struggle to finish it before lunchtime ends. Why is calorie counting a competition now? To see who gains weight the fastest? Please find something better to compete in. It won't hurt you to put on a little more weight. I'd appreciate you not saying things like that while ogling my chest. Yowza. Much as I am aware of my depressing reality, I'd rather not have her remind me of it. Especially with Maharu sitting right next to me. So are you aware of them flirting or not? Rinka, you're very inconsistent. What did you get, Rinka? Tonkatsu sandwich. Welp, guess we've got a winner. You're on the prowl for calories too, huh? I'm certainly not competing over it. I'll ask for a bite as I unwrap the packaging. Trust her to do so before I can get in a bite in myself. I float the sandwich close to her mouth, which prompts her to chomp down on it. Aw, didn't get any of the tonkatsu from that bite. You really do take small bites, don't you? What's wrong, Miharu? She's staring at Mal with a blank expression. Well, maybe she wants a bite as well? Want to trade for your ham sandwich? It'll give you the part Mal didn't take the bite of. No, it's fine. I don't particularly like fried food in the first place. Please accept my humble apologies? What? What's going on? Mal presents her yakisoba bread as an offering to Maharu after apologizing. Unsurprisingly, Maharu turns her down, which elicits a laugh from her. Honestly, what a silly conversation. Yes, and what? Oh, is it indirect kiss things? Same time, it serves to remind me that moments like this are a regular part of my daily life. Rinka? What's up? Sorry, I guess I spaced out there for a sec. That said, I go back to eating my lunch. We keep chatting away like usual on the rooftop until just before lunchtime ends. Like usual, but in the place we never do, on the rooftop. Okay. These are cute. These are cute moments. After the final period of the day, I hear someone call out to me as I'm tidying up my desk. Rinka! Oh, hey Naomi. Turns out to be Naomi. The culture festival isn't far off at this point, so it's about time she starts teaching her classmates how to brew coffee themselves. That's why we've made a deal to have her come over to Lionhouse as much as possible this week. So she normally waits for me at the gate, so it's kind of surprising to see her come straight into my classroom. Now I think about it, will everything I'm teaching Naomi right now be undone if I get eliminated? Probably, yeah. Based on what Parsa said, it's all but guaranteed. If that's true, then why am I even bothering? Is something wrong? Sorry, it's nothing. I can't keep acting like this. Mal caught me spacing out earlier today, too. Sorry for the wait, let's go. Rinka. Maharu stops me as I'm standing up. What's up? Are you going home with her? Oh my goodness. Rinka, you are literally in the middle here. Steve. Save. Okay. Yep, we'll be practicing her brewing skills again today. Do you want to join? I take it you're going to work. Nope. She might be going to work. Don't say, I take it you're going away. No. You want to join? Want to join us? Assuming you're free, of course. Not like there'll be many customers in the first place. I'm all for us hanging out together. At first, she looks happy about the offer, but then she quickly shifts to disappointment. As much as I'd love to, I have work today. But I might be able to get someone to fill in for me if I ask right now. Do! She whips her phone out. Check mid-sentence. I do have work. Let me see who I can pawn this off on. No need to cancel work for this. All we do is chat anyway, so let's do it another time. Oh. Yeah, that sounds good. No takebacks, okay? Her tone is a bit poignant. Not that I blame her, it's entirely possible one of us could be eliminated during the next round. I leave the classroom after saying goodbye to Maharu. I'm sure Mao would have tagged along, but it seems like she's busy with something else today as well. On our way to Lionhouse, Naomi blurts out something I didn't expect. I should probably apologize to her later. To Maharu? Why? Well, it seems like she wanted to talk to you about something in private. Oh, I wish she could have come, but there's not much you can do about her having to go to work. Don't blame yourself. Isn't that quite what I meant, though? Rinka, Naomi gets it. Naomi gets it. She's like, oh my god, I'm in a lesbian just face-off here. I don't want to be. Oh, so so what made you come meet me in my classroom today? I figured it would best to meet with you as soon as possible, but I'll make sure to wait for you at the gate from tomorrow on. Huh? Why? Oh god, Rinka. Naomi struggles to find the words that answer my question. After a number of first starts, she simply tells me, never mind. Oh my god, Rinka. It's worth noting that she actually seems to be aggravated, a rarity for her. She's aggravated at you, my love. Oh god. Unbeknownst to both Rinka and Naomi, there's a girl secretly watching them from the school grate. It was Mishimi Miharu, known at Amecha High for her looks and a mission via scholarship. Okay. So Maharu is watching them. So? To many, she's the embodiment of perfection. However, this perception has made her somewhat difficult to approach for them. Especially now, as tears stream down her cheeks for all to see. Oh, my love. A scenario likely to become the locus of many rumors if it involves anyone other than Maharu. In fact, it is such an unusual sight that no one would dare mention it at all. Yo, Maharu-run. Didn't think you'd still be here. Amongst the crowd of students pretending they haven't seen anything, Mao. Mao is the only one to address her. Her attitude remains consistent, even in the presence of her friend, crying without uttering a word. Maharu's focus never shifts, despite Mao's presence. I can read. As such, Mao follows her line of sight only to give a sage nod after seeing the two figures it led to. So, that's what it is. Hey, Mao. If I were to die, I'd want it to be from having earned Rinka's love. Oh. Her voice quivers as she says this to Mao. You have to tell her. She is so oblivious. She's missing all of your hints, despite how very in your face your is. Her words lack even the slightest hint of exaggeration. Mao is very aware that she has simply let her true feelings slip out. Maharu's words fail to faze her. She responds as she always does. Well, guess you can't die just yet. She opts not to wait for Maharu's reply and walks off. And not because she doesn't care, she understands that Maharu sees her no merit in sitting down to hash things out. Or go and sing karaoke to shout those inner feelings out. Instead, she leaves Maharu to digest those simple words. Maharu doesn't think of Mao as being cold for doing so either. In fact, she feels absolutely nothing at all about her. The only thing in her heart is Rinka, who gradually sinks into the horizon. You could have gone with her. Just take off time and go see Rinka. Like, that's a thing. You can do that. Hello? You realize no one else works here, right? That's hilarious. Naomi drops her things off at the counter before donning the apron she's brought from home. I fill in the regulars about the culture festival and tell them not to worry about Naomi's presence. In exchange for my teaching her, she's offered to help out with dishwashing and other simple tasks for about an hour or so. That's really handy. I've told her not to bother, but she insists on it. It's gotten to the point where I'd feel rude to keep turning her down, so we've decided on a time for her to help me out. Here's how things typically go when Naomi's around. We open at 4 on weekdays, and the hour or so after that, it's either completely dead, or we have very few customers inside. That's when we either brew some coffee together, or she reads up on different types of coffee beans. The latter is more out of personal interest than anything else, since it won't come in handy in the cultural festival. Around 6, the customer... that's 2 hours. The regulars who are just finishing up work start dropping by, and so that's when I have her help out for an hour. That's 3 hours of time. How hard is brewing coffee in Japan that it takes 2 hours multiple days a week? And then an hour of putting your friend through work. Afterwards, she kills some time either studying or reading books. Sometimes we chat when I've got the time to. She spends the whole evening with you. You go home together and run this cafe together. You guys are doing quite the little lesbian thing. No wonder Miharu is sitting there like jealous AF. That's how things went last week anyway. Right, let's get started. Oh, can I show you something first? She takes something out of her bag after I nod. It's a transparent plastic bag. Inside are a number of cookies, in the shapes of stars and hearts. Oh, these are cute. They're, my way of saying thanks. I made them at home yesterday with what little time I had left, so that way you would have my cookies. Naomi might know what she's doing. I'm now taking this back and thinking about Naomi may know that she's going after Rinka. I untie the red ribbon after she hands me the bag. Sweet smell wafts through the room as soon as I do so. Would you like to have some together after we brew coffee? Assuming you're fine with sweet things, of course. I'd love to, thanks. I tie the bag back up to prevent the cookies from getting splashed with water while we're brewing. I even made sure to use your favorite color for the ribbon. Oh, goodness. How'd you know that? Wow, you actually thought I wouldn't have known? I mean, I wouldn't assume. Okay. Leaving the cookies somewhere visible, I start the brewing process. Yep, you've got this down pretty well now. You should be able to teach the others, no problem. And you don't need to get here every day to practice it. No way, I'd rather practice some more. This may be a method for the beginners, but we know how clumsy I can be. Yes, but if you teach others, they wouldn't be as clumsy as you. Right? She can act as humble as she wants, but it's the fact that she's improving. I'm rather impressed by how well she manages it when she's properly focused. I wouldn't be surprised if she shot right ahead of me. If it were my grand teaching her. This feels like a good time for a break. I've been looking forward to these cookies of yours. Oh? We have no customers right now, so it's the perfect moment to take a break. Can't say for sure if it's good or bad thing though. Place the cookies on the plate and carry them over to our usual seats along with some coffee. After appreciating how great they look, I finally take a bite. So you took off the apron and put your jacket back on? Or I think this is probably reused from that opening, but still. Oh. Yup. Someone hits Naomi's panic button as she awaits my reaction. These are great. I'm not good at making dramatic reactions. This is the best I can do. Naomi's eyes shimmer with an excitement that matches her beaming smile. What a relief. I have a sip of my coffee before taking another bite. Oh, actually. Is something the matter? These pair with the coffee quite well, don't they? Struggling to find a reason why, though. Yes, I made them with extra butter so they would complement the bitter coffee you make. Oh! She lets out another sigh of relief, brushing her hand down her... Huh? Down her chest? For what reason? You know that coffee butter. I'm so glad you like them. There's no way I wouldn't when you went and made them for me. These are a few too many for me to eat alone, so we end up eating them together. Baking sweets is apparently one of her favorite pastimes. She can bake a whole bunch of things. But cookies seem to be her specialty. Oh, they're cute. It reminds me that my gran used to bake cookies as well. Granted, the taste was completely different from these. These are simple and mellow, much like Naomi, but at the same time, they don't feel as if they were made by someone not used to baking. An idea hits me once we're about halfway through the plate. Would you mind teaching me how to bake these? Oh god, Rinka. Our customers would probably be thrilled to see more sweets on the menu. Learning directly from Naomi rather than trying to do so on my own is a much more realistic approach too. And more importantly, I want our regulars to taste just how good these are. Yes, but. However, I can't help but remember Divine Selection when Naomi stares at me in utter amazement. Even if she does teach me, it'll all be for nothing if I get eliminated. Sorry, forget I asked. There's no way I can tell her about the possibility of me dying, but I am awfully close to doing so. There's definitely a part of me that figures I could lift some of the weight off my shoulders if I told someone about all of this. Maharu, maybe? Why? Her overjoyed expression quickly clouds over as she draws her face close to mine. I must look like I am mulling something over, so I rush to find a way to respond. I can't keep taking up your time like this. Things can't continue this way forever. That's not what you're really thinking, is it? Huh? Besides, I'm the one who asked you to teach me first. That and, well, She struggles a bit before continuing. Sorry, I'm just Not quite sure how to put this. Don't worry about it. Rinka, you don't know what it is. She's struggling to put some words in, and you're like, don't worry about it. Just, it's fine. I want us to keep spending time together. Naomi knew! Naomi knew! Naomi knew! It is. Her eyes immediately shoot to the floor, almost as if she's let the words fall out by accident. Sorry, something about me has been strange lately. Like the fact that you're alive, and not burnt in the fire. Maybe that. You might just be tired after I made you do stuff you're not used to. Want to head home for today? That's not it, Rinka. Oh my god, Rinka. You are so oblivious. It is infuriating. She takes a small breath, raises her head back up, and looks me dead in the eyes. Her expression is almost oppressive. Forgive me for asking out of the blue, but could you hear me out for a moment? Sure. It's going to go over her head, Naomi. It's not worth it. Oh, the music. I've been having an awful nightmare a lot lately. A nightmare? Yes, it always starts out normal, with the two of us getting on a train and chatting away. But then a fire breaks out all of a sudden. The flames spread throughout the entire train, and the heat alone makes it painful to breathe. But then you dive in front of me and shield me from the flames, only to be engulfed by them in my place. She pauses a number of times while she speaks. Her voice gradually gets more and more agitated. After that, I can only watch as they kill you. Do you remember when you started having this dream? She shakes her head, which has turned to face the floor again, and then she answers. I don't remember exactly, but it might have been ever since I first came here with you? Why didn't you tell me sooner? Sorry, I didn't mean to sound angry, but if you were coming here is causing you undue stress, then that's not it at all. I love spending time with you and brewing coffee together. Doing so helps me to understand that it's just a dream, nothing more. So it might not be gay. It might be I'm trying to deal with my own PTSD. It's just that I hate seeing you die in front of my eyes, even in a dream. I'd never, ever want to see that. Never. Her face falters. Her voice falters on that, her final word. I could see the tears welling up in her eyes. I keep having the same dream, over and over. That's not a dream. There's no doubt that what she's saying is the cause of my death. A number of questions pop into my head. Most of all, I'm flat out shocked. I never would have guessed that she's been having a dream like that, based on her attitude, especially when my own memory of the event is fuzzy at best. Don't worry, Naomi. It's okay. I'm right here. There's still so much more I want to do together with you, Rinka. I want to bake cookies. I want to go to the theme park again, so you won't die all of a sudden, will you? I can't force myself to nod in response. After all, I'd already be dead if it weren't for divine selection. What she's dreaming about actually took place. It's just been undone for the time being. It makes me wonder, when Parsa said our deaths had been undone, did she mean that the world's memories of the events themselves had been rewritten? Can't wrap my head around such a thing could even be possible. However, the fact of the matter is that Naomi's memory of my death is so deeply ingrained in her being that she's reliving it over and over in her dreams. Please, answer me. You're not gonna die. You're not going to spontaneous combust. Sorry, I can't promise that. No, I didn't want you to apologize, but, well, do want an answer to my question. So long as you do that, I'm sure I'll be fine, even if I have the same dream again. Sorry, but I desperately hold myself back from saying something I'll regret. I'm far worse at lying than I thought, judging by how I keep apologizing and avoiding the question. Her head is cast downward, but her eyes are glancing up at me. The tears in her eyes are a lot more obvious than before. It's my fault that she's crying. If there's anything on your mind, then please talk to me about it. The last thing I want is for you to just disappear someday. She says this with a resolute voice, despite her eyes being filled with tears. Just makes my heart ache all the more, though. She's likely to be haunted by that dream for a long time, assuming I keep the truth from her. Yet, telling her won't change the fact that I'm a participant. What's worse, I may even get her caught up in something dangerous if she decides she wants to try and help me out. Facts. Don't do that. Can't say for sure how dangerous this whole situation is, but at the very least, I want to make sure she never comes in contact with those people from the dream world. Most of all, I'd have to reveal the fact that Maharu's also a participant, and that the only one of us will make it through the whole thing alive. Keeping her in the dark would mean don't burden her with my situation. Actually, there's something I need to tell you too. Huh? This might worry you even more. In fact, you might not even believe me. That said, will you listen to what I have to say? Rinka, what are you doing? Of course. She answers without hesitation. Just as I'm about to start my explanation, the chime at the door rings. Sorry, can you stop here until tomorrow? Do you mind if I wait until you close for the night? I'd hate to keep you here that long. Besides, I think it's better if we take a breather. Don't worry. Promise, I'll tell you after school tomorrow. Okay. She nods enthusiastically and then helps put the tableware away. She leaves as I get back to work. Meanwhile, I'll try to focus on my work as much as possible to distract myself from my own uneasiness. What were you going to tell her? Good morning. Good morning. Maharu's already here when I get to school. She gives me her usual smile before she continues. Oh my goodness. We hop to the end of the day. Rinka. Naomi comes over to me from the date. Oh, oops. Uh-oh. She almost trips in her haste, but she manages to catch herself. Seems like she's just as clumsy as ever when she lets her guard down. She's been waiting for me at the school gate, just like she said she would yesterday. There's little point in her coming all the way to my classroom anyway, considering it's a big detour for her, which means I'm really on the fence. Is it PTSD that she's trying to deal with, or is it feelings that she hasn't understood? It might be both. It really might be both. Sorry for the wait. Do you mind if we go somewhere else to talk? There's a nice place near Lion House. We're not going to the Lion House then? Nah, the weather's nice today. Might as well be outside. Okay. Following that, we both make our way to the station. Oh, date. One transfer from Shinjuku to the metro, and 2 stops later, you'll find this park. And that's where we're going to stop, because this could be interesting. It's, really interesting. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope that you are following along. I am really enjoying this entire series. It's very fun. One thing that kind of keeps getting me is how oblivious Rinka really is, because oh my god. Also, she can't trust other people, and she's not doing that well. Like, what if Naomi is being told by another participant that the only way to save her is to get the information about her death? Maybe that's there. I don't know. I'll leave you with those thoughts. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!